on this one.
It was like tornado, snow, 60 to 70 degrees, back down to like 30, within like the first few weeks of February.
Yeah, no, and then
that tornado
like,
did it hit here?
Yeah, like, well, our tree, the one tree out there had one branch off of it. On the road over here, there's the house that has the husky that lives outside. That tree pulled up part of their driveway and went across the road, and then like the new neighbors had to cut it up with a chainsaw.
I didn't tell you, but it landed right there on right there at the house.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you how your neighborhood was.
Yeah, I was coming out for class, and I just looked up and I saw the clouds moving like really fast across the sky, and then I started seeing them kind of curl.
Yeah.
And I was like, this isn't good.
Yeah, it's not cool,
So I got in my car, and I was thinking, I'm gonna try to beat it out of here.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as I shut the car door, just the rain hit real hard, and then the wind picked up like within seconds.
Like just getting out right after it.
Yeah. It picked up in seconds, and the next thing I know, I see branches going right by the window, and I was like, I need to get inside. I was like, I'm not leaving right now. And But then I kind of had that moment of fear because I saw all the trees going this way, and I could see like the funnel and all that, and I'm like, oh god! But I couldn't get myself to move. Eventually, I decided to like hightail it inside, and then it hit like I could hear it through the walls, just the and power was going on, off, like stayed off, and then finally came back on. And luckily, the damage for us was mainly just like a lot of wind. It hadn't picked up the strength, but the two roads behind us and all that is where you started seeing a lot of the damages, and that's where it started getting bad. And so, unfortunate for those. Like, we were fortunate.
How do I call myself? That's one of those deals with like the thing with your calling yourself. I don't know. Let's see. So, hello?
Spam.
Yeah, as the said your account has been closed for security purposes or blah blah blah. I'm like, no, it hasn't. And if it has, that's not how you guys do that. Like, because
first of all, it would say who's calling. This is Verizon,
and then or something or whoever it is.
I hate these scammers. They've gotten crafty now.
They've gotten it. They have,
because what they do is like you'll block one number and they'll call you from a different. I started picking up on what they do. Like my phone will say like scam likely or something. What they'll do is they'll call you, but they'll have the same first number. So it'll be like 978, then whatever sequence follows that. But if you block one, they'll use another. They'll still use the 978, but use a different thing, and they'll just keep calling you and calling you. Like my block list is probably like 50 numbers long right now.
I had a guy who kept calling me and was like, "Did you call?" I was like, "No, it wasn't me. Sorry if somebody's using my number to do it." And then he's like, "All right," but he kept calling back to ask, and I was like, "Dude, still me. Still not calling you." So sorry. But yeah, so the tornado stuff like hit the road behind us, got hit pretty hard, and then obviously Hillbrook got hit really hard. So, but yeah, it was crazy. So we had the tornado, and then it snowed, and then we've had crazy weather this week. Like Monday was cold enough to like be running in like some tights and cold weather gear, and then I was running in shorts the next 2 days. This morning, I probably was dressed a little bit warmer than I needed to be.
It was Wednesday night, I think, and I went to no, not Wednesday. It might have been Tuesday night. I went up to Duncan Park because they had a scrimmage there. A guy that I know who used to be my babysitter when I was a kid, his son plays for Broome.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I really don't feel like doing homework tonight. I mean, I still did, but I was like, you know what? I'll go watch like an inning or two.
Yeah.
And it was like I brought 2 jackets, but it was warm enough for people to be in like short sleeve shirts. I'm just like, I don't even need 2 jackets. Like,
no. Yeah.
It's just this weather is just.
And like I said, and then today's weather was supposed to be. Not like bad, but it was the prediction of snow and the amount that was going to come with the possibility of dusting due, depending on which thing you looked at, 3 inches to, the weather's getting in 20s tonight. So, but I don't know what's going to happen. We'll see if we have delays tomorrow or not with school. But yeah, that's our I guess our weather talk. And I said I'm glad you guys were all right. We got really lucky over here because pretty much within a 2-mile radius. I mean, had everything from people's power might have flickered to not even turned off.
One more bag of chips.
No, we already had another one in that thing, okay? You can go get an apple or something, okay? But,
Can somebody cut apple down?
once I get done, I will. Okay. And then,
Cut it.
we had power possibly flickering, not flickering, to us losing power, but no real damage. I mean, we had a small leak, to people who, homes are condemned right now.
Yeah, our house it flooded a little bit, not too bad.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if that's what caused our dryer to fail, because like a couple days later the dryer just stopped working altogether.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, like, did they go hand in hand or not? So
yeah, it was kind of weird. I mean, because the washer still works, but where the water was coming in is like right there where the dryer's at. So I was kind of like, yeah, maybe. I had left because at that time, right after the first one hit, there was still a bunch of things up in the air. Like the news was saying, hey, around 2:00 it's gonna hit again. Like there's gonna be a second strong wave, and y'all need to be careful. So, where I live, there, all the pine trees and stuff. I'm like, okay, this ground's been super saturated. The neighborhood's already flooding. I was like, it's probably not safe that I'm staying here.
Yeah.
So I went and stayed with my brother just to be like on the safer side, because I was like, these trees, one's gonna blow over. I just know it, and also the flooding aspect. I was like, it's probably best
get stuck here and all that. Yeah,
because if the power goes out or something happens, I don't want to just be stuck. So I was like, I'll go.
And you got the new car. You didn't want it to look like as somebody else said. I've seen some others look like a hot dog bun, because like some of those trees landed and made hot dog buns out of cars. I mean, it was crazy.
It was like, and the weird thing is like, I really wasn't like, while the tornado was hitting, like, I've had people ask me, and it's like, I really wasn't scared while it was hitting. It wasn't until like 10, 15 minutes after everything got kind of like registered. I made sure everything was good, and everything was like, and I knew I was safe, that like it kind of kicked in, and that's when the adrenaline kicked in. Yeah. It was after the fact. I was like, that's kind of weird, but at no point was I like terrified for my life. I was just like kind of uneasy. I was like, this is probably not a good situation to be in right now. So
So it was definitely something else, and like I said, we'll see what happens with the weather now and tonight. Even though it's saying it's not bad, but like it was kind of sleeting out there.
Oh yeah, no, it's actually sleeting fairly hard. Like
it's kind of weird. Like what's going on and what's on the on the weather are not matching, and then this is changing, but not really according to what's going on. So
I was sitting there drinking some hot apple cider actually, and it made me. I was like, man, I love hot apple cider, but it's more of a fall time drink.
Yeah.
But I was drinking that, but it still was hitting the spot. I'm not gonna lie. I was doing like some work on the computer, and just kind of
touching your soul, as you say, and like. Did you listen to my little mini cast? Like, I was like, as Tyler said, touching the soul, like.
And I went to that. I went to
Fuel Hunt.
Yeah.
Huh.
I also heard where you started talking about the Pletcher thing.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't mean for it to come out that way, but I was like, so Tyler came out, and then I was like, okay, not like that, but like...
If it were me, I would have just kept it going, so people would have been so confused, like, wait a minute, what?
Sorry, Nina, if you're listening. He just came out with that.
He came out and, just like pass it by like it's no big deal.
Memes are going to be a whole new thing now.
I mean, I'm not like, people, yeah.
But no, so, alright, so I guess we'll just jump right into that, but, let's go with Pletcher Lee. You finally, if we're going to say it the way we're saying it, came out with Pletcher being the man after years of possible disappointment on how he'd been doing things. And then, like, losing to Nick Lee. Now, I haven't got a chance to watch that episode. Can you bring me a knife, buddy? Can you carefully tell your sister to bring me one?
I got see a little arm in the door is like holding an apple.
Which thing was the apple in the Disney movie where they bite it and they is that Snow White or
is that Snow White? Snow White
or
Sleeping Beauty or something? I don't know. It's one of them.
I don't know. So yeah, it's like funny we had this. All right. Anyway, I digress.
So yeah, Nick Lee beats.
Did you get to see that match? Because it wasn't on Flow, so I guess it was on Big Ten.
It
maybe?
Was, and I got to see a lot of highlights, but no, I didn't record it. I was meant to record it, and
I wonder if we can find a playback of it or something.
Oh, I'm sure we could.
But yeah.
Matter of fact, I think it's actually the entire duel's up on YouTube. You can watch the entire thing. Like, well, is there like a separate?
You can minimize that one, or just press the plus button, and we'll see what's going on there. So we'll just have to mute that when we find it. But from what I saw, though, it looked like Nick Lee pretty much rode Pletcher out. Mm-hmm. Okay? So, if you rode him out, my thoughts almost are, I still think Pletcher's the man at 41. 2020, yeah.
If I put the most words in there, probably open it up. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw it. Pletcher, Nick Lee right here. This is the match. We can...
Yeah, go ahead and press play on that. And then hit the little mute button so it doesn't, audio.
Oh wow, there we go.
Alright. So, but it looks like you wrote him out from that duel from what I could tell. Or what I saw about it. Do you think, and I guess we're kind of looking at it now, which, for those of you listening and watching, we'll kind of talk through it just to not have too much of a, bad podcasting. But,
podcasting, what you mean?
Yeah. Bryce Jordan, is it Bryce Jordan? Is that Penn State? It's not Bryce Carver, right? Because there's Carver, but it's Bryce, whichever. Penn State, Iowa, all these duels, all this stuff's the atmosphere, the crowds, to watch wrestling right now. I'll give you a paper towel too. Paper towel, yes. Have been fantastic. Like, to watch these duels and the atmosphere of them and the crowds cheering, crowds know what's going on. I mean, right now we're 2-0. We're looking at this, and I'm thinking, all right, yeah, and Lee got out fine, but Pletcher was in on that shot. Pletcher's going to, be high volume like he was. Not like he was, but like he has been all year long. But
I like that single, by the way, though.
Which one?
Ohio State.
Yeah, they have a white one, which is that band on it too.
And they also have that red one, which is, but like, I don't know. There's something about that. It's black. It's simple. It's not.
Yeah. I wonder what the significance of just that one band on one leg, if there is a significance to Ohio State, or if it's just a design thing that looks cool on one side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. All right. So, before we finish watching this match, as it's going, can you go give me a plate? Or a bowl? Gotta make them work for it. Alright.
Ernest keep.
Yeah. So, what do you think? Like, other than, like, jokingly, we said, he made you look bad now that you finally came out for him and all that kind of stuff like that. Yes, I am going to keep on saying it that way.
I'll be honest, I don't
one shot, or do you think Lee is the man?
I don't think Nick Lee's going to be I do think he just happened to get the better of this matchup. I mean, we could look at all the variables that go into this, like it being at Penn State, it being, it could be like that perfect storm of things that just happened. I don't see this as indicative of Nick Lee being the true number one where Pletcher is not. I think come time for, Big Tens, NCAAs, I feel like Pletcher gets his wins back.
Okay. I'm very curious to see Big Tens. And, funny enough, because that's kind of how I felt about the Mark Hall.
Zahid Valencia?
No.
Right.
Mark Hall and Kemmer match. I was like, ooh, we got to see these matches. Time will tell. Mark Hall's still the man. But there was something about watching that match that made me not say the same thing. Made me not say that this is still Hall's weight, this is a one-off thing.
Well, because it was the domination on Kemmer's
So, like, I have completely switched to Kemmer. And so far, 20 seconds left in the first period, it's 2-1. I haven't seen anything that will make me change my mind to say Lee. And I think if Lee rides him out, which, like, the next two periods, which apparently I guess he does or whichever,
but, I mean,
I still think he can make that adjustment to get off bottom. There's a difference to making an adjustment to getting off bottom by the time Big Tens and all those guys roll around versus being dominated in the look and feel that
he got dominated in every aspect, on the feet,
that that he had for him. All right, you want to come say hi to everybody real fast?
Hi.
All right, good job, Buggy. All right, go on. No, thanks. And there he is. And there he goes. But yeah, so that was
he got off. He got off bottom pretty quick.
So, it really makes me still think. Like I said, I still think Pletcher. And so far, I haven't seen anything. Yeah. Almost 4 minutes in, that makes me think that Lee is going to be the man. Now, not to say that Lee doesn't win this match, because obviously he does. Lee's good on top, but I just think that. I still think that Pletcher's the man at this weight. Like,
I mean, just look at the size difference. Like, Lee is taller and lanky, whereas Pletcher is like short and stocky. And
dude, Pletcher's legs look like 2 weight classes above.
You want to know who he reminds me a lot of?
Who?
Metcalf. Metcalf used to have giant legs.
Okay, see, like
his legs, as far as his like physical
legs,
appearance.
yeah, but I don't know. I never really thought much about it. or maybe it was just the way.
Nice little scramble there.
Yeah, nice little scramble. So now he's on top here. So we got a 3-3 match with 50 seconds left to go
In the second.
Here.
Barring it up. I mean, it's not. It doesn't
this-
look like Pletcher's tired or anything. It just looks like he got caught in a bad scramble.
You
Or
know,
caught in a bad spot in the scramble.
Yeah.
I tell you what, looking at Pletcher's single, it's weird association. But there's actually one thing I do want to bring up that, but is NC State. NC State's wrestling team this year.
okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, because NC State has a black one too.
Well, yeah,
I mean, like,
black, red, white. It's
yeah,
just,
the
it popped
color
up at
scheme is
Wolfpack.
pretty-
And
yeah.
no, they've
been
killing it. Yeah,
Yes.
they popped up all the way up to what, like 2
Three?
or 3? Yeah,
I think they're
like
3 right now. So
They're on fire.
they're doing great.
That's one. I mean,
And
knew
I
they'd be
actually
good,
like
but
what
I
is it?
didn't- I didn't think they'd be that.
For the top 10 teams in
Oh, stalling.
yeah, that's the first one. But for the top 10 teams in NCAA's right now are ACC teams, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
You know, NC State, Virginia Tech. I don't know. Were the two
I think UNC finally broke the top 10, maybe.
UNC, and then there's one other one. But so they're like that group that's there. So 4-3. Was that a second stalling call? If it is, I didn't see the first one.
I didn't see the first one either. That's what I'm saying. It's stalling, and I saw that 1 point. Unless it was,
I'm guessing that's got to have been the second one.
unless it was like a
So
quick succession
5-3.
of
So
stalling.
yeah. So
Stalling
this.
again. I mean, I know that's not what they did, but
Yeah.
that's what it seemed like. I didn't see the first warning, so we also have it on mute. So
Yes, we didn't hear them if they said it or whatnot. So, but yeah, I'm with you. I still think Pletcher's the guy here. Because again, I haven't really seen anything. Obviously, he's going to get a takedown because I thought I saw the score at like 7-4 or something like that, or you know. And I know Pletcher was on his feet at the very end of the match, you know, being one of the highlights and whatnot. So, you know, and he's shooting. I mean, still. He just gets extended out over there. Good sprawl, good defense, good extension of the hips. You know, did he call 2? No, now it's 2. You know, minute left, 7-4. I mean, he's got work to do. He just realizes that, yeah.
Well, so what I've seen so far is, as to this point, there's been 2 things that cost Pletcher, and they've both been scramble types. Well, one was a scramble, one was just kind of, him defending the shot, and I think Nick Lee's length kind of got the better of him there, just because Lee
Yeah,
is
he
kind
was
of
able
lanky.
to. Yeah.
But I'm not seeing anything to say that Lee is hands down the better wrestler here. I mean,
No.
obviously, yeah, he's winning on points, but I'm not seeing this as like what Kimmer and Hall, Kimmer just straight was, and I hate to say dominating Hall, but he did. He pushed the
Yeah.
pressure. He had Hall kind of backing up.
And even though, and I'm watching this now, 19 seconds left or whichever here, like I thought he was on his feet when the match ended, but maybe
he
not.
might have been. Yeah, I think it 8-4. So I think he might get an escape here and then 1 for the riding time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So he was
8-4.
on his feet. So, I mean, the other thing is, like, I don't see Lee as being dominant on top as the Nolfs.
No,
and
because
Rutherfords
he
were.
really
He was
trying
on
to work, but
top
he
and he
really
was
wasn't
trying.
doing
And, I mean,
much.
he was working on top.
I mean, he was, but he wasn't doing
wasn't-
too much. Like, it's not like he was tilting or
He
getting a ton of
didn't
tilts.
look like the others did when they were
Yeah.
on top. Now, did he ride hard on top
Yeah,
and he wasn't
absolutely.
able to get off and all that kind of stuff? Yeah. So there is that.
But but again, there's that difference between someone like the top pressure of like what we saw with a Kimmer or Marinelli or
Yeah.
someone like that versus with that. I mean, that just looked like he was on top, he was working, but at the same time, it didn't seem like he was getting much done. It seemed like Pletcher was kind of
Yeah.
strengthening him.
Yeah.
I don't know the terminology on that one, but
So, All right,
yeah.
so I think we're both in agreement on that one, which not really a big surprise because we do agree on a lot of things, almost somewhat to the point of boredom. Sometimes
that's why we got to mix
But,
it up and
yeah,
and
we
get
do
people
at
to pick
times.
like
So
random Michigan guys to win the heavyweight.
yeah. Oh man. So, but you were saying about NC State, were you just talking about like how well they're doing and everything?
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now?
Just I mean, it's kind of
Okay.
they've caught me off guard. I mean, I knew they were good at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
They were a team to kind of always keep an eye out for them. They've always had some cats in there that are fairly good, but it was just one of those. I wasn't expecting them to be as good as they were this year. Like,
Yeah.
When I saw them at the top of towards the top of the rankings, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Like, It's not that it wasn't, not that it was a surprise, but
Yeah.
at the same time, it's not like I didn't particularly see that happening. Like I just when it didn't surprise me,
Yeah.
but at the same time I saw it and I was like, oh, okay. I don't doubt it, but at the same time I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Oh, for sure. All right, so that leads, because you mentioned the singlet, the other
Yeah.
thing that I talked about before, or on that little one that we have talked about before. And I'm curious, did we actually have an episode on that? Or was that just one of the episodes that we had of the 50 episodes that we had before we started recording? Because I know we've talked about that singlet debate forever.
You're talking about the two-piece?
Yes.
I can't remember if I think we've had an episode on it, but I mean we can definitely go back into it. So like, for those of y'all who don't know, Flo posted a picture of this. They said, "What do you think about the no singlet or the what was it, compression shirt fight shorts thing?" I don't know how they worded their post, but it was Maryland. They wore a black compression top, black fight shorts with kind of the Maryland flag like they do for everything, and I'll let you start this one off.
All right, so like I mentioned in the last subcast episode, I love the fact that they're doing it. Some people have kind of said they're the first ones to do it, but I could have sworn that Edinburgh had a two-piece. Theirs with the compression shorts and compression top, and they did it for like a duel. I don't think they've done it for as much as like Maryland's done it like all season long.
Mm-hmm.
But then I have to look at it, and I thought there was one other team, but it might have just been Edinburgh because I remember seeing, or was it West Virginia? Did West Virginia have one too?
I know Edinburgh. I don't recall West Virginia doing that though.
Yeah. Why don't you take a look over there? See if we can pull up theirs. But
who, Edinburgh?
Edinburgh, and put Edinburgh two-piece. Well, Edinburgh wrestling two-piece maybe. But see if I can images maybe, because I could swear they had.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
they did the two-piece.
So they did the two-piece.
Which I kind of like that look though.
Yeah, like click on one of those. See, theirs is all right. Okay, and they went with the compression shorts versus the compression top.
No.
Theirs works out all right. Now,
oh, maybe no.
That's a high school one.
I was about to say.
Try
West Virginia.
West Virginia. So again, my thoughts on it were, I like it. Original thought on all of it, I think, was just like always, like most wrestlers. If you don't like the classic singlet, then maybe this just isn't for you. Whichever. Yeah, maybe they didn't. Maybe it was Edinburgh wrestled West Virginia or something, and that was the duel that I remember seeing it. So, Ty Waltz, yeah, still. So, doggy, come on. All right. So, as always, we have dogs join us.
Now let's Maryland.
But yeah, my thing with Maryland's is I think they missed out. Now, what I mean by missed out is I think the fight shorts with black and the black compression top shirt from the front with the big red M on it was pretty darn cool looking. My problem with theirs is like when it turned around, or yeah, you big doofy dog, is it looked kind of plain from behind.
Yeah.
And yeah, they used. Okay, yes, you love Tyler. Okay, go climb in his lap. But like I was saying, I think
he's so long.
He is long. He doesn't think that he's that long and thinks that he fits in a lap, but he does not. So
I'm not
the back of it to me was kind of plain and kind of boring.
Just a
and they had the good job, dog. He's like, what? I didn't do anything. But they had the trim of the Maryland flag just around the sleeve and I think maybe around the neck, and that was kind of cool. But I just think that flag is so cool, and like how the helmets are and stuff like that. They could have done like a full back piece of that flag, and that flag is so god awful flashy enough on its own that it's so ugly that it's cool looking.
Yeah.
That would have separated them out on there. All right, you ready to go? Sure. I think that would have separated them out, and I think that their two piece at that point would have been dope. And that's all they needed was to have that on the back of it, have it, look like that. I just think they went a little too conservative, and the coach was like, go big or go home. I was like, dude, you did go big by doing it, but you didn't go big in the design. And I think that's where if you're gonna go with it, you gotta be flashy enough. And I don't mean like flashy in the sense of like shock and awe, like just for pure flash. Wow, you were loud. But you gotta come off with a design that's gonna make everybody want to do that. Like not just so plain that it's like, okay, it looks okay, but it looks like your
don't chew on those wires.
It looks like your warm ups, you know, or it looks like your practice gear. You want to go with a design that looks good.
Yeah.
Let's be the trendsetter with that. Like you said, the Edinburghs I thought looked pretty cool with.
Edinburgh, because it was actually a take
It was
on.
it's
a
red.
different take altogether.
Yeah, it was red. It had a different look to it. I mean, I thought it was cool. I liked it. I would love to see more of it.
See,
I don't know if we'd ever see Iowa do it, just because I was too traditional. But imagine in Okie State, like they have a series of different of uniforms already, like, and all of them, like from their straight classic orange to the black with the big cowboy head to the one with like the V's on the side. I mean, they have so many different ones that look cool already.
Yeah.
I could see that kind of getting thrown in the mix, and I see if they did it, that it would be a completely different design. Let me close this closet off before we get in. I think they would come up with a design that is new and not shocking enough, but new and like flashy enough that would be like, that's cool looking.
Yeah.
We need to do something that looks like that. Not just do it just because you're doing it, but they did it right. That looks good. We need to roll with that.
Yeah. My thing is
like how we did.
So
ours looked good.
And there's like a ours did look good.
They did look good.
Especially the white ones. But my thing is with it is there's part of me that wants to be that traditionalist and say if you don't like it, you know, then you know, get out. What are you eating? Don't eat this. Got a sock.
Where'd you find a sock at?
So, but it's like part of me wants to be that traditionalist and say like if you don't like it, don't be in the sport. But at the same time, for the sake of our sport, you know, we know we're
traditionalists to the sense, but like at the same time, like, you know, the singlet has evolved. We'll find some tape and a roller for you.
No, I don't even care. But no, it has like if you want to be a traditionalist, I don't see what's the difference between being a traditionalist and saying let's stick with the singlet, to just saying hey let's have singlets that are only one color, or even going further as to say like hey let's wear older thick singlets, or even just going straight like old Greco or old Roman and just
loincloth only.
Yeah, loincloth. Like I don't see where that distinction draws the line of
like how traditional do you have to be? With that.
At what point can innovation be okay? And for me, I like it. I like the idea because we aren't the most popular sport, and you know in the northern states it's very popular. They have no problem with it. Here in the southeast. Maybe even
let's go ahead and take one less excuse out of people's mouths.
Exactly.
And let's
go
just
think about all and like you said.
Let's what's the biggest, fastest growing sport right now in NCAA's, men and women's, and I just gave it away.
Yeah, women. I mean,
women's wrestling.
Wrestling
is killing it. It's pretty much kind of in a way saved our sport. It's like brought a lot of attention, brought more fans back to it, more faces to it, more people to it. Hey,
new faces, new fans, and all.
Why? Yeah, why? I mean, look, two-piece singlet also would be perfect for girls. You don't have to have a girls' cut singlet, or you know, what I mean, let's admit that's kind of one of the drawbacks to women's wrestling or like girls wrestling in middle school and high school is. That makes much more sense. Is the uniform like, well, they have to wear that, and then you have to have the rules about sports bras, and like, so it's different. Or they have them wear a compression shirt underneath it already, or if our uniform can be, you know, compression top, compression shorts, or fight shorts, you know, and I even like the long sleeve. No, I don't know. I do to an extent. I can see where if you did a long sleeve compression shirt, they'd have to be like. Compression. It couldn't be like baggy on you, so that it would work right. But
I'm not.
I do like
long sleeve.
I like the skin coverage because of like what our sport also has with like more skin coverage, less skin exposure on the mat. So
that's a problem. Just people being clean.
I know
you should be clean anyway.
You should. But that shouldn't matter. You know. But it also is another layer of protection. But I do like the idea because for women the ability to just wear the compression gear. You know, with the
I would say
shirt
short sleeves. I'm good with anything past the short sleeves would be a little too much for me.
Yeah.
I just also feel like it would give you know one thing that's interesting to see is like as matches go on, people get sweatier. It's harder to grab things, it makes things a little more
Well, I was
interesting.
gonna see. I was wondering about that with your take too, because like, doesn't jujitsu have like long sleeve rash guards?
I think it's stupid, yeah.
Does it interfere in practice or anything, or like, has it ever?
It just, I mean, it gets wet and all that. Other than that, me personally, I'm a traditionalist in the sense is like, if it was up to me, I would wear compression tights like I do, and just like compression tights and that's it. No shirt, none of that. I feel like if you're going for something without the gi, that is like imperfect essence. If you want to wear short sleeve, good. I just don't like when it starts covering past your elbow. I'm not a big fan of
I was just curious as like if it made a difference when,
Yeah.
I'm thinking like run bars and doing different things.
Yeah,
like
to
that.
me, I'm not a fan of it. It would help you if you're doing that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's part of me that wants to say like short sleeve and that's it. But as far as like the compression shorts and the two piece or doing the fight shorts with the compression top, either way, I think it's really cool. I mean, we could get a lot of people around here who likes it. You could do a lot of cool things with different singlets. Like Maryland really dropped the ball, in my opinion, as far as like fancy design.
Well, and that's what I was saying, and like
it's gonna add another dimension, and it's the same thing with like with any sport. Like sometimes, for instance, how many fans of Seattle did Seattle gain when they got those new uniforms? People started going crazy, and I'm not saying that's the only reason they like Seattle, but
no,
I mean,
but let's be realistic though.
A
When
new
just
look brings
Seattle,
people in.
all right. Yeah, I got one for you. Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yes.
When they went from that god awful pale orange with the old school Buccaneer feathered like knife
to
thing
to
to
pewter
the
and red. And,
like to the Buccaneer was almost like a pirate themed thing. So which really isn't the Buccaneer. Their old logo was probably truer to a Buccaneer than what their current logo is, because the current logo is like a pirate ship with the skull and the flag, the whole nine, which.
Yeah.
They should be the Tampa Bay Pirates or something like that. But let's not get into all that. But is their new stuff not better looking?
No.
Is their new stuff not mean more people buy that gear?
It looks cool. And, I mean, as shallow as that sounds, things that look cooler attract more people. And people are...
Tennessee Titans even have updated theirs in a little bit. And theirs is slightly more streamlined, more dark with flashes of color versus, with the grays versus just that baby blue.
And the other thing is, it's going to make... What happens is, so with that, you have these fancier, flashier designs. It also highlights...
It also makes the highlights the classic.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Like, so 49ers, they have a beautiful uniform. It's classic. It's not fancy. It's, gold, red, stripes. Whereas then you have someone like Seattle who's like...
They have the
flash.
multitude of uniforms from the highlighter one to like our throwback or our color rush one was the all black one a year ago.
Yeah,
but now it's the all black with the 3D lettering was from the back to the 80s. So it's like so their color rush is it makes the traditional, it makes the Iowas, it makes all of them stand out. It would, if everybody did it, it would make this the high school stand out for being classic block letter S. You know what I mean?
And that's exactly what I was going to say is it highlights not only the ones who are wanting to progress as far as like,
but it also it lends a level of coolness to the classic.
Like it's like
so people aren't like, man, our stuff is ugly because it's plain and it's never changed. It's like, dude, this is awesome because it's never stayed consistent and it's like they talk about football, like Alabama, hey, they're still
the same thing.
Still the Crimson, Clemson's had a few different color things.
We've never really changed as much color as like fancy design.
No, but like they've gone to like they'll have like an all orange one.
Well, we've always done all orange. All orange has always been what we call like basically our championship singlet. It's in traditions past it was always for the big games and championships. And
but I'm saying but they're kind of classic as well.
And they're very classic
because with some splashes of all color. Like, is there a purple one?
We have purple, but we only use it for military appreciation for Purple Heart.
Yeah.
So every time we wear a uniform, it's going to have that meaning of something.
So which also lends itself to the idea
of phone case.
Huh?
It's a cool phone case.
You like that one?
Yeah.
So there's the got the carved. I got it from their site, so I should throw them on there. If you guys want to like throw us a sponsorship too,
throw a few phone cases,
whichever. So
it's the $100 bills at us.
It's the burled wood with the resin stuff on the inside. So like that resin pour.
See, to me it looks like a mountain or something. I thought it was like an artistic mountain, but that's really cool.
So it's the resin pour in there and stuff like that. So yeah, got something a little bit different. Tried it, I was like, why not? And then I was like, how can I make that myself? So I'm always thinking that way. How can I do that myself?
But yeah, there's
doofus dog. I know.
show stealer.
Yes.
But
It's trying to be.
there we go.
If that's not a shot right there.
But yeah, it's I mean, I'm excited for the 2-piece stuff. Like, but there is that part of me who is the fan of the classics.
Yeah. So,
but I am not opposed to bringing stuff in that will make the sport more popular.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say no to it.
you know, I mean, we kind of choose what we get to an extent of being a middle school program. They're like, it's time to order stuff. What do you want? We kind of work with other people and we get that. But
Even when we've talked about stuff, it's always been
but we've
traditional.
Yeah, it's traditional. But we've been able to order the 2-piece for our guys with an option to buy and stuff like that. You know, if funds are unlimited and you get to choose no matter. Before you turn stuff off, get out of here. If we were able to pick whatever we want, whenever we want, like I would choose to have a classic style singlet. You know, which we kind of talked about. We kind of like that look, and then have with the option ability to go fancy,
and that's what
new
we've
school
done.
2-piece. Yeah, in which we've done that to an extent of like we've done that with with the option for our guys, but like if like I said, if money wasn't a problem and the school would pay for it all type thing, then that's what I would do for it all. I would just and I think that's for us. That's where we are. We're not in Iowa where it's only classic only, but we have the ability to do all those things. I would like to see more people follow suit, like I said, grow the sport, really, and to kind of do what's just best for all that. So.
Oh yeah.
All right.
I mean, but when Iowa does it, I'm not saying they're ever going to, but if Iowa does the end of the world is coming.
No, I don't think so. I think Iowa will do something, but it'll be so subtle that it'll be cool. Example.
I could see them doing a yellow single one day.
I could see that. One time they came out with like, and it was with Metcalf. The camo headgear. Now they didn't do it with everything. I was like, all right, Iowa, come on now. If you would have done that eye in camo, like it still would have been classic. It still would have been Iowa, but just oh my god, did you see Iowa had a camo eye instead of just the eye? But they did it differently. They did it with the headgear being camo.
Dog doesn't know what.
No, he doesn't know what he wants.
But no, I mean,
I could see Iowa
cool.
doing something that is so subtle that it'd be so talked about and so cool.
Oh yeah,
like eventually, like there's brands. If you guys are listening, go ahead, feel free. Go ahead and throw the camo letter I on there with camo trim instead of gold trim. If you want to. Like
when Michigan singlets, they're not very fancy. Like we don't have the fancy singlets,
but they are kind of fancy in some.
I mean, they just have like the two-tone. That's it. It's not really great. No, I love it too.
I like
but
it.
When they do the
I guess in my mind, it's kind of fancy enough for me to like. So it's
They do the maze out thing, and I think that is cool when it's just like the all yellow with you have the blue back with the M in the middle.
It's just the inverted.
Yeah, it's just inverted color, but for some reason, when they wear it, it's got that. It feels special. It doesn't feel like
and that's what I would like to do for us. Is like that would be cool to have that, except like for us with green and gold or whichever, and then eventually just have enough stuff where we have enough to be able to pull from. Be like, these are the championship ones, and that's what I mean. I guess
or like big home match. Like if we're about to get into like if we're like wrestling.
But for right now, it's like ours is just like we have. The dog is shutting, but we have when we get new singlets, we can take care of these ones. We'll eventually have 2 singlets, but it'll only be because we finally got a new order of one, not just because we have.
I say we go with the Michigan style, the old, like the classic Michigan style with the stripes on the side.
I like it.
Yeah, that's the one I'm voting for. But so, singlet talk is done.
All right, and then so we were getting into. I think that's what I meant. The 2 things that I mentioned, but we wanted to talk about
the big one. Snyder and Cox.
Snyder and Cox is gonna happen. All right, so first. Before we go Snyder and Cox,
I was a little disappointed because like I mean I knew this couldn't happen and like it would have been exposed beforehand, but part of me was like it's kind of funny that he said you'll know when I step on the scale. I mean we all knew he's not literally gonna like step on the scale and be like this is where I'm going now, like it wasn't gonna be like that, but I still wish he would have gave us a little more suspicion, but because it just kind of came out of nowhere.
But at the same time, I think finally he had to realize that you have to put something out there because somebody's gonna see you and they're either gonna be like.
It seemed so like the way he did it. I felt like it could have been more grand.
Yeah.
Like he could maybe have done like a little video package, or like maybe like a like a video package of him watching both David Taylor and Snyder, and then like turning off the David Taylor screen and just kind of like looking at Snyder, like something like that, like something great, like kind of theatrical.
Fun.
Yeah. So it kind of adds that mystique of almost like a big fight feel, which it is a big fight feel.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Part of me just wishes they could have made it theatrical.
Did you see Robbie Smith, the Greco guy?
Yeah.
What he did?
No. What he
said in retrospect of watching something like Jaden Cox make his announcement of what way he's going, I feel like the world need to know I'm going, and then he's got a big turkey leg in his mouth. He's still going heavyweight.
Yeah,
I'm still going 130 kg. You know,
you gotta love Robbie Smith.
You know, I was like,
he's captain. He's like the manliest man.
I was like, that's funny. Yeah, big turkey leg. But
doesn't.
So before we go into like Captain America, like a part of me still wanted to see the drama unfold of if he had gone down to David Taylor's way.
I mean,
and part of also that, the drama of him going down there is like, you know, Taylor was out injured.
The unfinished business.
Taylor was out injured.
Then you have
PD3 in there now, who is the current guy because he is the current guy because he is by default
falling into his lap.
Okay,
but I mean nothing against him.
He's gone and competed, and it's not like he's misrepresented either.
No, but he hasn't.
I think he's. But now also at that weight, who else do we have at that weight? I mean, do we not also have Zahid, Derringer? Like I'm like that weight class is just like I was like, man, throw Cox in there and watch the keg explode of immense talent. Like
my thing is
because now like
then you would also have, then we would have had to speculate.
I think the immense talent that would have happened there would have been amazing. With him going up, it's now like a 2-man show in my mind.
Well, see, the thing for me is like, so we know Cox can go at that weight class. But part of me wonders, like,
how was that weight cut going to affect him?
How would it affect him with this matchup? Like, could he beat David Taylor at that weight, with that weight cut, especially with the size he's put on, both him and Taylor? That seems like to be the trend in wrestling right now, is go up instead of down.
Good trend. And I'm going to throw that out. Good trend.
Great trend.
And even Burroughs said it, like, cutting weight doesn't make you a better wrestler. Wrestling at your best potential makes you a better wrestler. Me and my brother
had this conversation. I'm like, you look at everything through the eyes of weight cutting, and I was like, I don't understand why, because it limits your performance, it limits your strength, it limits your endurance. I was like, it's bad for your body.
So you got Jordan Burroughs and everybody else saying like going up is better. Now, that being said, I understand like wrestling 2 weight classes above your thing, your weight to fill in for a weight class could be detrimental.
Yeah.
But that also being said, hey,
Cox is not doing that.
No, Cox is not doing that.
Cox
but
is
I want to throw this out there for everybody wrestling
huge
right now.
Cox.
Sometimes it's asked of you he is coming out to go up 2 weight classes for your team.
Yeah, I mean,
and that is not.
You
got to do what you got to do for your team, and sometimes that's in your best interest. And look, like I've said it before, in the practice room, you wrestle everybody within a 5 to 20 weight class range of you.
Oh,
okay, when I say that means like you wrestle everybody.
Yeah,
why all of a sudden when you get a chance to go step out on the mat, they're a weight class above you. I don't care. You get out there, you take advantage of every opportunity you get, and you go wrestle.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
so what I think about this, Jaden, is like. The thing is we have those unanswered questions with the David Taylor thing, but now we have
and I was kind of jealous about just for a brief moment, but at the same time, like
we have more unanswered questions about him going up. Though it's like, is this going to be too much for him? Is he going to go and dominate? Is he going to be even stronger? Will he be the man who can take out Sajulayev? Yeah, I can never pronounce his name properly. Sulev, whatever. Is he the guy that takes him out? Because right now, Snyder is not the one doing that.
No, they did once, but that was it. This is my question for you. How long has... Because apparently he's gone and worked out at the Ohio RTC, and he's got the open door policy, and he's kind of signed with them.
How long has this been known by Snyder? Or by both of them?
Yes. My question is, like, Snyder's move to Penn State was kind of a shock to a lot of people. Did Kyle Snyder make this move knowing that Cox was coming and that he didn't want to be in the room with him, like, that way? I mean, or vice versa, or whichever. Or maybe he's trying to see. How long has this been in the works, and is there something there to why the rudest started athlete, Ohio State man, gone to the heavily done scrap. Ooh, which is another question about shoes. Gone to the scrap life Penn State area. Is there something else that we don't know about, or am I just fishing to look for a good story? Like, which I very well could be, but like, how long has this talk been happening with Cox coming over to Ohio State RTC, and what's going to happen, and how everybody's looking,
and I mean, maybe, and I'm with you, like, and I'm adding another dimension. Like, what if Kyle decided he wanted to go to Penn State because, with, just
to be like
knowing that he knew that
Jaden was coming in,
and and like you said,
and he knew he was going to be going up to that weight. I mean,
where was what was the RTC Jaden was training at beforehand?
Well, Jaden was at Mizzou, but he pretty much was at the he was pretty much a resident at the RTC, not the RTC, the original RTC at Colorado Springs, the Olympic Training Center. Like, Adeline Gray has moved back in over there, and she is a resident. So that's the original Olympic Training Center. So he was a resident there. Like, he had, I think, an apartment or something. Was
the OG OTC.
Yeah.
OG RTC.
It was, It was at the training center.
No, there's
OTC. Yeah, OG Olympic Training
RTC.
Center. No, region. That'd be regional. So this would be
OTC. Yeah, I was right the first time.
Yeah, you were.
I'm overthinking myself here.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it does make me want to add that second dimension of, like, did Snyder know this, or was Snyder just not wanting to bother with it? Maybe Snyder's maybe he realized,
because these guys, I mean, that's a fairly small community at that level, and
I mean, maybe he also realized if he wanted to get to that next level and beat Sajilayev. Yeah,
first he's got to beat Cox, and do you think that being in a room with Jaden was of his best interest, or being someplace else with some other guys would be?
And see, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking
that's what not taking it as a bad blood rivalry type thing, but as a I want to beat Sajilayev. But first, to beat Sajilayev, I've got to be the rep here.
Yeah.
And if Cox is coming here and training, then that means we're getting familiar. Does that affect my ability to be that man?
I was going to get at was maybe he's thinking that that Ohio State, like, going to Penn State, maybe he felt that that's the better choice for him. Like, if maybe he felt like the OTC was that's just not cutting it, and which would be crazy because he's done so much, and like Penn State
and Terrell Dlagnev was there. I mean,
like, Penn State's RTC. The more I talk about it, it doesn't make sense. Like, the move doesn't make sense for that aspect. Maybe it is just the fact that he knew Cox was coming, and he didn't. He felt that this is better for him.
Yeah.
Because maybe he knew Cox was coming for that reason, but okay, I can scope him out. Like,
and maybe, or Jaden went because that's also the place to go, where I would think of being like a heavier weight RTC, because you had Terrell Dlagnev, and Terrell Dlagnev was the man for, and I'm going to say this, probably the best wrestler in the world who doesn't have more golds, because he wasn't juicing like every other giant Russian, Iranian were all on the juice.
You're going to get down for saying that.
I was going to say, please take care of the podcast and my family. Like, after they take me out. But
I'm not accusing them of juicing.
But for real though, like,
I mean, I'm not saying that they.
But he was constantly third, or constantly would get pulled in to be given a medal after somebody got caught juicing a couple years down the line. So he was the American man at the heavier weights, and that's where you go if you want to train. It's just kind of like
I'm curious about what
Iowa's RTC is the lightweight.
Oh, lightweight central.
Lightweight central, minus the Oklahoma State RTC because they have fixed. But that's kind of a lightweight place. Ohio State was looking to be like the heavier weight place.
Yeah.
The Penn State RTC was basically strictly David Taylor.
I will say this: the Penn State RTC seems like that place where if you're going to that senior level, your career is going to just die, because other than David Taylor, other than David Taylor, how many guys can we think of have made such a huge splash at that senior level that have come out of that?
And if you want to get technical about it, David Taylor never beat Burrow, so they were. So just
I'm not. They
literally didn't have anybody until David Taylor.
I'm not dissing Penn State's RTC that much. I mean, I am, but their the collegiate program for Penn State.
I'm gonna get taken up by Russians. You're gonna get taken up by by Pennsylvania.
So I mean, but look at it though. Their collegiate team, amazing. They've been amazing for the past decade. I mean, well, they've been amazing for a long time, but I'm saying this past decade, it's been more domination than anything. after their guys leave, they don't. Other than David Taylor, I mean, a lot of their guys just they're middle of the pack. I mean, some of that can be due with just give them a little bit more time to see what they develop.
And we'll see how things go.
But right now, I mean, it just doesn't seem like that's the case for me.
So, I am very curious to see how things go. That being said,
what do you think about juicing in the Olympics? Like, do you think there needs to be a heavier crackdown, or do you think we just need to lean into it and say, let's let everyone juice?
do you want me to die that badly? Like, jeez, man. Like,
I mean, because I feel like we can have one weight class. It's an open weight class.
Juice as much as you want.
Everything.
I have multiple feelings on juicing. Wow, this is kind of like, we're going to segue off in a whole different...
And we're talking about steroids. We're not talking about, like, vegetable juicing.
Yeah, not David Taylor's juicing, because he does have the cold press juicing.
He does. And it looks good, man. He makes me want to start juicing. And the fact that, like, that kind of juicing, not the steroids.
No, I want a steroid juice. But I'm tired. No. Just kidding. We do not condone juicing of that. Alright, but I have different theories on juicing. At different stuff. When you talk about it at the Olympic level, I'm going to go like childhood fantasy Olympic level stuff. The Olympics are supposed to be the purest of pure, the greatest of the greatest, without all that stuff.
Supposed to be. It has
the older we get, and I'm going to say we because never mind. I'm not going to talk about bringing Dad Carr into this just yet. So,
back in 1960.
As we get older, though, we understand how much more corrupt the Olympic Committee is, and the Olympics and rushing and everything else.
Remember when we were kids, we didn't want to think like Hulk Hogan, like Arnold Schwarzenegger. We didn't want to think all those guys were juicing.
So the purest and like child innocence of me wants to say that, and I'm going to go with the Olympics need to crack down harder, because if that is what our little kids dream of, we need to preserve that thought even as adults, so that is the purest, cleanest, like the thing. And when we say we're going to ban Russia, if you do it, they need to do it without consequence of dying. Okay? Like, I might very well after this episode for the things I've said about Russia. But, I think that's what it should be for there. Now, my other philosophy on juicing, or not even philosophy, my other thought process on juicing is the majority of people who should be juicing, or not should be, who probably are juicing, are grown adults that should be well enough educated to make a decision that if this is what I want to do, understand the consequences of said things, and that's what you choose to do.
And usually it's not like that. Well, I mean, there is a difference, but it's almost like they're just doing it to get, like, because they've already hit their peak. They've hit their peak,
and it's one of those
going,
things,
like okay, so if we take like an average run of the mill, like college athlete, and let them juice, they may go from here to here.
Yeah.
But with these Olympic guys, it's almost like they're going from here to there.
Yeah.
Like it's a small step.
So I kind of, I don't know. It's like, and then it's like you got to get into like, what is juicing? Yes, juicing is steroids and it's bad, but like, at what point are we then be like, well, what supplementations do we need to then limit it to? Because like, let's face it, if you've got the money and resources to do things, man, I can get all sorts of other supplements that aren't juice, or I can get all these other meal preps, or these other vitamins, these other things that can be done for me, that if I can afford it and do it, I would love to do it. I'm not saying I would love steroids, but I would love to have a professional person be able to handle my meals and to give me the stuff and say, take these vitamins and do these things, and say like, take these things for recovery, because like this will help your body. You know what I mean?
I will go with,
I don't know, it's
3 supplements, and when I mean supplements, I'm talking about like, so we would have you're allowed to take a creatine, you're allowed to take a protein, and you can have the whey, you can have the casein.
You're talking about like what? Yeah,
you can do that, and then you can even use BCAAs if you want to. Outside of that, I would say things like multivitamins you can take. Now you would have to probably, this gets into a whole, because it's pretty much what it is now, you would have to get it like certified now. But multivitamins, and I would either multivitamins or just regular vitamins like the vitamin D, vitamin B, vitamin C, like stuff like that. At that point, I would draw a distinction and say nothing past that.
Yeah.
Anything that's not. And
I think there's also, and my personal thought with steroids too, is I think there's a misconception that people have with steroids that if you take steroids, you will automatically become big, jacked, or super fast, whichever. The people that are taking them, they're still... Rewind. The people that are taking them with success are still, even if they, I don't know if they, how much of a placebo effect we could do with these people and like say that they're still taking the ones they have.
Yeah.
Because the amount of work and amount of training that they're doing is still that far above the lazy person who just wants to credit steroids.
Like
for
Arnold Schwarzenegger still was working hard, but he was taking them, and all it was doing was giving him more time to recover.
Yeah, so,
it's not that it was making
like,
his
recovery, so they could like work more often. So
it didn't change his work ethic.
Like, yeah, that's the other thing. Is like people want to blame steroids or say steroids are bad or blah blah blah. Steroids this, steroids that.
It allows his body to keep up with that work ethic.
I get that they are all those things, but my problem with them, not with steroids, but with people that want to blame steroids or say people shouldn't be on them, is like, look, you don't work hard enough without them. More or less with them to get the results, and that's kind of
all they do.
What I'm getting
I don't want to say all they do, but like that's the thing. It's a lot of the ones you see that are like super successful, like the Arnold Schwarzeneggers, all these bodybuilders. It's not that they're that way because they're taking them. It's their body, basically what the steroid is doing, the anabolic steroids are actually allowing their body to keep up with the
level
ridiculous
of training,
work ethic that they have.
And who's to say that are steroids bad then if we're just trying to help our bodies reach that next potential of what we can do, or should we I don't know.
I mean, that gets into a debate of like how much it damages your body and all. Me personally, I wish we would stay clean. I do, and like there's a huge problem with juicing in the IBJJF community.
Oh
like,
gosh, yeah,
dude, I'm telling you, it's crazy, and like
because they're unsanctioned, aren't they?
All of it's unsanctioned, and so what they're doing is like the people's excuse is, well, you have these top 1% genetic freaks.
Uh-huh.
Well, you should allow juicing so people can have fair competition, or they will just run roughshod.
Live with the bell curve, man. That's our life.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm like, why do we have to sit there and equal the playing field? If you have someone who's that 1% genetic freak,
that whole
let 'em be.
that thing that I fell in love with, the fuel hunt. Everybody wants to eat, but fuel hunt.
Yeah.
Look, they're just hey, you want to eat, but you ain't willing to go put some work in.
Oh yeah.
Go do the work.
I've had to hunt for food. It's amazing. Well, not in that sense, but I'm saying it's amazing. Like. Just the difference.
Like I said, we talk about enjoying the process. I kind of want to get in touch with that company because their logo kind of had that old school eagle head that I had on the thing. I was like, dude, you didn't even got to change anything. Can we just get that printed in green and put McCracken Wrestling across the back of it?
We'll
like
you can copyright it or whatever. We'll just
if we buy your shirts, and can we just do it? Can you print us a run in green?
Yeah.
And let us print McCracken Wrestling across the back. I mean, I will anyway because like if we buy them, we can do what we want with them. But like for real. Like, for real, I'm that much in love with that phrase, but fuel hunt.
Yeah.
You know?
And no, it's true. Like, everyone wants to be that, I forgot who said it. It's like, everyone wants to be a beast, but no one wants to do what a beast has to do or something like that. Yeah.
So I'm like, I love it. Everybody wants to eat, but fuel hunt. Like, nobody wants to work for it. So I'm absolutely, to steal your catchphrase, man, that it touches my soul.
It does.
You know, for that one.
I wish our high schoolers had that mentality.
You know, and I ordered some stuff. I ordered a shirt and I ordered a banner. Put it up in the garage with that stuff. So
so I was just watching some stuff about like Eastside, like their high school.
Yeah.
Man, it's just like the thing is, man, like the difference between the mentality of their guys versus like our guys. Like for them, it's. Well, I mean, they love it too, but I mean, it's just so different. Like, and I don't.
It's a cultural buy-in of not just them, but like everybody all around.
Yeah. Well, they're also taken in from when they're children. So.
Yes. Even stolen from us. All right. No, I'm just kidding. Sometimes. No. Anyway, but back to now Cox and Snyder. What do you think? What do you think or predict? Now, before I was saying. And last time we talked about this, when we didn't know which way he went, I think Quasi and I both said Cox.
Oh yeah, Quasi 100. He is like firm in his belief,
and
I can't. I mean, I can't decide. I just can't.
I was gonna say the same thing. I was gonna say like my thought on it was, I thought Jaden Cox will be the rep at whichever way he went. I thought maybe. But then I was backtracking. I was like, but man, David Taylor's been working so hard for this. But now that's not even, I don't even have to worry about that decision anymore. Now it's Snyder, and I'm going to be like, I'm going to go with Jaden Cox. And then I see steroid like lifts from the guy who's not doing. Then I just see him do some stuff, and I'm like, but then this man is doing that.
Yeah.
So it's like.
Because then you wonder, is like, isn't Jaden Cox strength too much for him? And then you see Snyder. Like doing dips with like 4,000 pounds wrapped around him, and it's okay, so the strength's not really good.
Yeah, so Captain America's doing dips on bridges with buses wrapped around him, with little children in there saying.
Now I will say,
but so it's
if we're
like
going gut feeling, If we're going gut feeling,
All right, before you go gut feeling, 2 questions in. Who takes the spot, and which one can beat Sedgelive?
okay, who takes the spot and who? I think that question
'Cause
can
they
be
can be-
answered by the same thing.
Oh,
I feel.
okay.
So I'm gonna go off of my initial gut feeling right now. I think there's gonna be something about the athleticism of Cox, along with the size that Snyder's gonna struggle with, and we're gonna have Cox go. And I feel that Cox is just an animal, and I think he can beat Sadulayev. I'll get his name right eventually. But I think Cox can be the guy to beat him.
Yeah.
Right now, I do not have much faith in Snyder to beat him. I mean, Snyder's there, but like,
Wow.
he just, I don't know. The past few meetings I've seen from them, I'm just kind of like, oh, okay. It seems like he's got Snyder's number.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. I got again.
Kobe just predicted. I mean, not Kobe. Trooper just predicted.
Yeah,
Cox.
he did. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I
Thank you,
keep
Joe.
thinking that like Cox was going to be the guy to do it. Just also based off the fact that like Kyle Snyder hasn't done it recently, but he kind of has.
He's
And
kind
then
of slowed down a little
he
bit.
kind of has slowed down a little bit, like. But at the same time, though, like you know, the pace which he came out with, as young as he was, like
It's hard to keep
he's
that up.
still. It's hard to keep that up, and he's still the guy. And
Yeah.
I think you know he still has the ability to do so much.
Yeah.
You know, so it's hard to say that his time is done and it's time for somebody else because he's still just you know.
Daddy.
Now, I will say this. My decision with Cox, and I'm saying this, I'm not saying this with like conviction. I'm not saying that I'm 100% sold on Cox or Snyder because
Yeah,
it can
I-
change. It can change tomorrow. I could be.
I
could be
can't.
like,
I
"No,
just.
Snyder."
I gotta see it. I want to, and I also want to see Cox at that weight.
Yeah,
I
it'll
wanna
be
see
interesting to
what-
see.
yeah,
And then
that's
there's
right.
also the question
How
of
can I put it in the sink?
Yes, go put it away for
then
me.
it
Very carefully.
It introduces that question of
Huh?
is that weight going to be too much for Cox in a sense, like
Yeah.
because it's a little bit different, like because it does take a little more energy when you do go up.
It is.
I
So,
mean, it does take more.
I'm
strength.
looking forward to seeing him compete at that weight, and I want to see how he looks. And I think maybe after seeing one tournament at that weight, that might be the determining thing with it. So.
Yeah. But like I said, this is completely. Right now, we're just kind of initial reaction. We're not claiming this. This probably can change. It probably change tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't know, but we'll see. I wish I was as strong in my conviction as Quasi is. Because he's dead set saying it's Cox, it's next question type thing, and I'm just like,
I don't think
see
it's
how
a-
you could-
I-
don't see how
I-
you could be that
I don't think
certain.
it's the next question type thing, but I was pretty confident in my earlier pick to say that.
I don't see
thought
how you
Ja-
can be
I
that
thought
certain.
that Jaden would be the guy, and that was just not too long ago, just based off of their recent performances.
We're also
And
looking
then-
at Jaden. Jaden was at. I feel like if that was an Olympic weight,
Oh gosh, yeah.
Jaden takes gold right
So-
there. That I think that was the perfect weight for Jaden Cox. Now, if he goes down or if he goes up, I'm curious to see does he still have
Yeah.
that same.
I think if Jaden wrestles like he did
Yeah.
at his current weight and then up at the weight, like he's unstoppable though. Like if everything carries through and goes with him, which is what Quasi is going with, then yeah, then that's.
We'll
I
see.
mean, it's hard to stop the guy that's that convincing when he wants to win.
Yeah, I mean we'll see though. We'll
Mhm.
see. So I guess that's it for this one.
Yeah. All right, cool guys. We're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna take a look at this weather and let's
See
see
ya.
what we got going on.
Bye.
Peace.